A couple of months after the charity ball, we returned to Ensham Hall to get a few words from events manager Sophia about her thoughts on how the night went.
How do you feel the charity ball for LibFest went and was received?
Really well. We had really good feedback on the night, and before sort of the lead up there was quite a lot of excitement about it.
What do you think were some of the highlights of the evening?
Definitely auctioning off football shirts. That went down well. I think we had quite a lot of staff that were trying to bid for them. Just the whole evening, I think it's a really good atmosphere from what I saw of it.
And finally, would Ensham Hall be open to do this again next year in support of LibFest?
Definitely. We're really into supporting local causes, and especially one that's really close to a lot of people's hearts in this area. But yeah, definitely.
We also caught up with Mike, one of the leading members of the LibFest committee, to see how he felt progress was going in the build-up to the festival.
With LibFest only being a week away, are all the plans in place for the event?
Yeah, I think so. There's a lot to do in the next week, but compared to this time last year when it was a big step into the unknown, this year is, like I say, a lot to do, but it's manageable, and we're in a good place. We're all ready to go. We're excited. It's a big week coming up, but we're all ready for it.
What are the key objectives of LibFest?
I think the main objectives are obviously to raise as much money as we possibly can for our three charities: Seesaw, Thames Valley Air Ambulance, and Chart, who are Children's Hospice Arts charity, to give Liberty's parents, family and friends a day to really remember sort of how much she was loved and her life and loves, which are the two key elements of the festival, the music and the run. I think also to try and, in general, just to really raise the profile of road safety awareness, and even maybe to give other people who've tragically lost somebody in their life maybe a day of reflection as well at such a sort of upbeat, positive event. And I think for LibFest to become synonymous as a music festival that really does raise a lot of money for some very worthwhile charities, and as I mentioned earlier, to really raise road safety awareness in general and the dangers of dangerous driving, and just to become a very cool music festival. It's got a real community vibe to it, and Whitney's got a really cool music scene, and I think if we just to sort of really tap into that and showcase local talent on a big stage, I think they're probably the main aims going forward.
As well as the charity ball, there were several other fundraising events in the lead up to the festival, such as a fun day of music, food and family play areas at the Coffee Shed on the Lees, where the festival will be taking place on the 25th, an evening of stand-up comedy at Fat Lil's, and also an evening of music in the cosy venue that is the Siege of Orleans in Carterton. We also managed to meet up with Mick Ringham, who DJ'd the first ever Glastonbury 46 years ago, to find out how he got involved with LibFest.
I'm Mick Ringham, and I first got involved in the music scene in 1966, a long time ago, and I was a cleaner at what they call a ballroom at the time, and the disc jockey didn't turn up one night, and I got the chance of going up there and playing a few records in between the bands, and I must admit I did have a few too many drinks and jumped around a bit, jumped off a balcony, and they said, well, you've got the job, you've made a show for the people, you're completely mad. And the name Mad Mick stuck after that, and I was lumbered with it. My agent at the time rang up and said, I've got a gig in the field, do you want to come along? And so I said, yeah, what they paying? He said 30 quid, which I never got. And I did the whole day in between the bands and filled in for the bands. It's about 1,000 people there. My daughter lives in Whitney, and someone said, your dad used to be a DJ in the 60s and 70s, and then I got contacted. That's how I got involved, and I thought, honestly, it was a very good cause. I realised, talking to people, how much this young lady involved herself in Whitney and how much she was loved. It's a great day out for people, they can enjoy themselves, but there's also a message there, you know.
A key component of LibFest being possible is finding the perfect sponsors. This year, two of the key sponsors were local estate agents Taylor Cox and Premier Choice Mortgages. We went to speak to Mark G of Premier Choice Mortgages and Dale Cox, Mark Taylor and Chris Bishop of Taylor Cox to find out why they decided to get involved in LibFest.
How did you feel when you asked if you could sponsor a great charity cause, which is LibFest?
So, for me, when they approached us to become a part of LibFest, one, it was an honour that they actually thought about us. A bit of history about myself and my experiences with LibFest and Liberty Baker. The accident actually happened on the road that I lived on, and I've been a supporter of it since LibFest started. It was a no-brainer for us. I wanted to be involved in it, I wanted to help, and I wanted to assist in any way that we possibly could. It's something that it's very close to our hearts. We drove past the tributes every day for many months and saw it. It's just a few hundred yards from our house. We'd witnessed most of the things that happened, and as soon as we were offered the opportunity, I'd already said yes in my mind, but I put it across to the partners. And well, you yourself, you thought?
Yeah, well, Dale obviously approached me with this, and I'm not from Whitney or this area, and didn't have the pleasure of knowing Liberty. And from my point of view, I'd rather not had the pleasure of knowing her or knowing her name, because it meant she'd still be with us. So for me, it's a very sad situation, but people are looking to do well and good from the sad circumstance. So immediately we all jumped to it, we all agreed on it, and how they've moved it forward and the support of the community behind it, I think is fantastic. So for us, as Dale said, I don't like the phrase no-brainer, but it was one of those. So we're very proud to be supportive of this charity and Liberty's memory.
We decided we wanted to get involved in a local charity this year, and numerous charities came to us and discussed what they were involved with. Mike's Dove's enthusiasm for LibFest was fantastic, and as soon as he came in and spoke to us and we investigated the event more, it was something we wanted to get involved with from the start. I mean, the whole community has got behind it, and just a fantastic event.